love to take a character that is potentially misunderstood, maybe even a little easy not to like, and to make them human. And so for me to put, you know, flesh and blood around these bones of this story and this character as it is written, as I read it on the page, to put flesh around that and make her a person and make her relatable, I think is what I'm most excited about.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Andrew Jacob Brown with Confound Productions, and I have Terri Bonds in the house. What's up, Terri?
Oh, so many things. Most importantly, the after series is what is up.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Great answer. Because the only people that I believe that I haven't done an interview with yet is you and Caesar. So I'm saving kind of the best for last. Exactly. My friend, I'm excited to have you do this interview. It's been long overdue. I think originally we tried to get you in early, but time, busyness, you know.
Yeah, it didn't work out. And it seems like that happens when there's something that I really want to do. Like I really wanted to do the interview and I really wanted to jump into this because the after series is very exciting to me. And it's like, whenever that happens, there's something I'm very like passionate about. It's the one thing that like everything stands in the way. I feel like that's kind of happened with this interview. Like it's always been something every time we've tried, but we're here. So
we're here.
We made it.
I'm just pumped up because, man, it has been a road trying to produce and create this series and getting the right cast members. And here I got you playing Ren, which is going to be it is one of the top 2 or 3 most important characters. And I'm happy because, you're a friend of mine and you're also a great actress. I just feel like I won the lottery. So I'm just happy.
Oh, I feel like I won the lottery because it's one of my dream roles, like this type of role. And I don't want to give too much away, so I'll save it for when you guys go watch it. But this type of role is just something that I've always wanted to play. And it's kind of the way I've always seen myself. You know, I have a background in certain areas. And again, I'm just be very careful about what I say because I don't want to give anything away. I have a background in certain areas. And so like, it's for me, it's very close to home and something that I've always wanted to step into in this type of role. So it's going to be fun.
Okay. So we're going to put a pin in it because we're going to talk about that. But I want to start out by asking you, what got you into acting? What is it that you love about this creative space? How did you get bitten by the bug? Was it a long process, a short process? I would love to hear your take.
Well, the answer to that is it was a long and a short process. And what I mean by that is I have always been into theatrics and drama. Oh, I'm a singer as well, so stage is very comfortable for me. And what I've discovered about myself through the years is if you were to ask me what I wanted to be when I grow up, I would say I couldn't answer you because I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be an officer. I wanted to be a wedding planner. And so for me, acting is a way I can do all the things that I've always wanted to do. I can step into it in some way and experience that side of life and have that step into that persona, if you will, and not actually have to, this sounds awful, not have to commit to one particular thing because I want to do everything. Yeah. So for me, it's kind of, that feeds into a lot, but also I heard, I want to say, and I could be wrong, that it was Max Lucado. No, it wasn't Max Lucado. That said, praise is the thank you that can't be silenced. And I also feel that calling is the desire that can't be silenced. This is something that has never left me. I've had wonderful jobs. I've got a degree. I've pursued a career in my degree field. I've done all of that. But this was something that just never really went away. It was always, I knew there was something for me in this space, something for me to do. And so I started in 2007, my first film, which was an independent film project.
Okay. How'd you get into that? Was that?
I decided one day I was going to do it, and I took an audition, and I got the lead role.
There it is.
So there it is. Yeah. Well, I did some theater in high school, but of course that's totally different. Theater, film, is two different schools of thought there. And so, yeah, in 2007, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna see. And I went and I took this audition, and I took a couple of in-person. It's back when everybody still did things in person. I had to drive to Chattanooga. Yeah. And it was far for me at the time from where I lived. And so I did that. I went back a couple times, and then I got that lead role. And I did nothing for a very long time. There was a huge gap, and a lot of things transpired. Okay. I put myself through college and all that. Like, I went into my degree field and all that. But
okay, so you did the one film.
I did the one,
and then just didn't get it all serious yet. Not yet. Took a long break.
I was still very young. I was in I don't want to age myself here. I was in my early 20s when that happened. And I was always a bit of a dreamer, but if you come from the background in which I came from, I guess to give a little context, my mother was a single mom, and she had 4 children. And so there was not a lot of room for dreams for her. And so it's not that she didn't want us to dream. I don't think she knew how to allow us or to cultivate chasing a passion, because for her it was about survival. So a large portion of my thinking and the way I approached life when at that stage of my life was surviving. I needed a job, right? I needed to do all the things you're supposed to do, and I did that. And I put myself through college, and went off and done all of that. But the dream never left, and so it was at the end of 2023. I decided that I couldn't just live with this constant desire. And every time I watch a movie, it would upset me, because I'm like, that is supposed to be me. I'm supposed to be there. Like, I could do this. Yeah. I can do this. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to set 2024 as the year that I pursued this. And kind of like similar to 2007, I took an audition. And I got the lead role. And again, I always say it's not because I'm so wonderful. I like to think I'm okay. I'm getting better at the craft, but I'm really humble. So it's like, for me, I just recognize that there's something supernatural at work. And I think a lot of that is how you and I came together, that there are supernatural forces that are pulling things together and putting people
I really believe it was God intervened, really. It was few appointments kind of put us together, and it just developed. And I would agree with that 100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Man, that is a crazy little path there. But, but there really is no sane path when it comes to acting. Yeah. Like, we all get it in a weird way, and it's that itch that we have creatively. We all have a creative side. It just depends. Everybody's got a little something different, but acting happens to be your thing. Now, you can sing too, you say. I've heard you're a really good singer. Really good singer. And I've only heard a few of your stories, but tell us, you want to share a little bit about that, like how much singing you've done?
Oh man, my entire family, both sides really, all musically inclined. My dad was a phenomenal singer, still a great guitarist. And he's still a great singer too, but if you hear him tell it, he's lost his voice, but nobody listens to him anyway. He's still great. But he in the 80s was, very close to becoming country music superstar, and he turned it down for ministry. And so with that, I grew up kind of singing in church. And I sort of taught myself to, he worked with us when we were very young, but when my parents split, I didn't really get that training from him. So I taught myself really on Mariah Carey, if you can believe that. So I would listen to.
I'm gonna reveal something here. That was my favorite singer growing up.
Mariah Carey?
Mariah Carey, yeah.
She was phenomenal. I mean, she still is.
I'm not just saying that. Like, I named my daughter Mariah, but not Mariah. Her name is Moriah with an O, like Mount Moriah. Where I kind of did a spin on it there, where Abraham.
See, this is another connection we have. I go to Mount Moriah Baptist Church.
Do you really?
I really do.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
my
singing.
Yeah, I've been singing my whole life. A while back, I told God that I would walk through any door that He opened if I could do so with my integrity intact. And so I try not to turn down opportunities, whatever it's, if it's singing, if it's acting, if it's anything. I try to always, honor that, because it is a gift. A lot of people wish they had, and a lot of people, I mean, and I was blessed with it. The Lord blessed me with the ability, and I want to be faithful in that. So I just take appointments as they come, and I go several months, sometime in between actually doing anything in that space.
It's not, it's not your hardest passion, like, but you good at it. You just,
you know what? I think it's really honestly equal. What I will say in terms of singing versus acting is right now, the doors for acting are what's opening. If the doors for singing were opening in the way that they have been in this past year for me with acting, I would be doing both. I love them both. They're different though, right? So they're both
very hard.
Yeah, it requires a lot of vulnerability. Yeah. So I will do I will just,
if you had a choice between one where you could like this.
What are you doing to me? I can't answer that.
Yes, you can.
Man. If I had to choose today.
If you had to choose today and you could do one successfully, maybe not like superstar.
I would do acting. I would do acting.
Okay.
Yeah, but that also breaks my heart to even say, because there is something magical about being on a stage and having the crowd energy and the music. And for me, it's always been praise and worship. So like the Holy Spirit and all of there's so much magic in that. So it's hard for me to say I would just give it up, but I do. Right now I am, as I said, I have a huge passion for film, and
same.
So,
I'm the same. If I could choose one over anything, martial arts or basketball, or any creative thing I've ever done, it would be acting, writing, anything. I love acting. It's fun. Fortunately, it's just not easy to get what you want. So you got to work your way there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and you made a statement earlier about how we all have a crazy path. And that is true for anybody that doesn't have legacy, right? If your legacy, your family, if you're a nepotism baby, it's different. The path for those of us who are outside of that circle, and I am gladly outside of that circle, especially everything we see going on in Hollywood these days. I'm gladly not a part of that. But if you don't have that legacy, it's very hard, and everybody's story is so unique, and it's one of those things. I think that it's supernatural. God just puts it together in the right time. And this is just the season for this for me, and I'll take it as far as He will let me take it.
Well, I'm gonna make sure you stay with us for a long time. So
you don't have to work very hard. I'm so excited about After Series.
I'm excited too. I'm a believer, and we'll get into that. Let me ask you about the After Series. Let's talk about Ren for a second. You're playing a co-lead character, and you're gonna be a lead, and this is a huge character. This is a character who has a lot of scars. She's tough. She's a thief. She comes from a family, 2 brothers, both are missing. And then she gets caught up, without giving the story away, having a lot of bad things that have happened to her. And so she's very on edge, doesn't like to be touched. She's just very, got her walls up. Can you tell me, a little bit of your take on this character and what you're excited about just playing this character?
Because I feel like I can identify with a lot of her experiences. I did not have the idealistic childhood or even young adulthood, and so a lot of the scars I can identify with in terms of her, Ren. And so for me, I love to take a character that is potentially misunderstood, maybe even a little easy not to like, and to make them human. And so for me to put, flesh and blood around these bones of this story and this character as it is written, as I read it on the page, to put flesh around that and make her a person and make her relatable, I think is what I'm most excited about, because I would go as far as to say, if you had met me, you love me now because we've met each other, and I'm in a very good place. If you had met me in my early 20s and some of the circumstances that I had gone through, you probably wouldn't like me, right? I don't like me in some circumstances. So I like to take a misunderstood person and allow people to actually relate to that and bring about an understanding that we're all flawed, right? We all, most of us, at least at our age, most of us have gone through some things, and if we had all of our skeletons aired, we would all be embarrassed, right? So we're all just people, and so I'm excited about that.
I would say the same. I probably would end up liking you because I have a BC day too. I call it before Christ. My BC days.
Yes.
I was a terrible human being in my 20s. Maybe not too bad, but it was a party life.
Yeah, and we lack so much understanding too, right? And at that age, even if you have a relationship with the Lord, like it's a hard world to grow up in. Like you don't really, some people have it figured out in their 20s and they get to where they want to go and they've always known what they wanted to do. Most of us just fail through the first decade of adulthood. And that was certainly me. And I've done some things obviously I'm not proud of, and I can relate to her character in her trauma, a lot of the traumas that I read throughout reading the scripts and the entire first season. So
you're revealing some vulnerable things just about you, and I'm saying the same thing. And I think that's awesome because in the faith-based arena, when you grow up in the church, and I don't know if you did or not, but I'm saying if you grow up in the church and you kind of followed that great path all the way up, and then you get into acting, it's like you don't have any experiences of those harsh things. And so to portray a gritty character in anything that you're filming in, I think you got the edge because you've experienced it. You know what I mean? I can relate to that. I know how to play a jerk because I was a jerk at one point. I know how to play, you know what I mean? Like I could do that. But can you do that if you haven't portrayed that? I mean, I know acting is acting, but I feel blessed that I'm getting a lot of people that a lot of you are believers and like-minded, and but you guys have scars, and I just think that brings an extra element to our series. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you've got a great cast lined up, and I've been following, your cast interviews. I've not obviously met a lot of them in person yet, and that I'm actually excited about. But it's such a diverse group of people, which is really what you want because it's representative of the body of Christ. It's representative of our nation, and just it's so diverse. And I mean, but I think they're going to mix together very well because. I think of Leonard and I think of Michael, and I can so see the two of them. Like it just, to me, I'm picturing it as I'm getting to know these cast members through your interviews and the characters that I have obviously have some interaction with, like through reading this, and I'm putting them all together, and I think it's going to work out really well. I think to your point and to what we were discussing earlier, you have the people you're supposed to have.
Yeah. In
the places they're supposed to be in. And that's been a journey for you, as it should be, because casting is hard. And I wouldn't want that. That's all you. But
oh, good. You don't want it. It's horrible.
No, I don't. Don't want it.
I am very grateful that it has been a road with the casting, but I think the Lord has ironed it out a little bit. Not having to go in all that, but it was. He's still working it out and give me the right people. And I'm just true.
Yeah, I think you got the right people. And I think as this goes on, that will just prove itself out, a little bit more, and it will become more obvious once we get into actually filming and set days and how the story is coming together and bringing it, to life, as they say, on film. I think it's gonna really come together in a way that you just have everybody in the right place. And so I think, again, all you wouldn't want it. It requires so much discernment. I think it requires a lot of discernment from you. And that is something that not a lot of people have. And I think that you have that. And I think that you're willing,
Thank you.
to take the time and make sure, and that means a lot because I watch shows sometimes on TV and I'm like, it's a horrible cast decision, or this doesn't make sense, or like, so
Thank you, Terri.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And
yeah.
Well, let me ask you, so since we're talking about the after series as a whole, what are you excited about the most?
Things are fluid right now, but my character introduction, I really enjoyed that. A lot of the elements to my character and the way that she carries herself.
Wait till you see what I wrote. I did a nice little rewrite. We'll talk about that later, but
yeah.
But we can say this. We can tell the audience that you are playing a tough gal, and you are going to be tough, and you're going to have some fight scenes and stuff like that. So
I'm most excited about that.
You can say that.
I am most excited about that because I consider myself to be a very tactical person, and I am not. I don't consider myself to be an easy victim. Like just in life, me outside of Ren, like I am not an easy victim. I am not someone that you like. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight until my dying day. And so, like, I'm excited about this characteristic of Ren. Like she is. I mean, she's a force, and so I remember reading through it. Like, man, she is the way and it's written so well. That's really a credit to you. It really is written well, but like she just was a force. Like I don't know. I was blown away by her character and the development and the introduction. So I'm very excited about that, but also outside of just being on set, which I love being on set. I absolutely love it. It's hard. It's grueling. It's sometimes exhausting, but most times exhausting. But I really love that.
We're gonna have fun.
Creating the family that you create on a set because you're together all day.
I think that's the most important thing that I'm excited about.
Yeah,
getting you all together and creating an after family, and praying that everybody wants to stay with it because it's growing together. Because we're creating a series. It ain't a movie one and done. It's a series. So I'm excited
about that too because episodics for me have always been the goal. Movies are great, but you can't really take a lot of time to develop a character in a movie, right? Yeah, most movies are you want to hit the 90-minute mark or less, right? Unless sometimes you get like a 3-hour movie, but you can't really develop a character and grow a character, right? Like who you've developed in season 1 may not be who you end up with in season 6. So growing a character as you see the circumstances change and relationships on set change. And like, it's just going to be it's going to be so much fun. Also, I think the message is worthy. If you look at where we are in the signs of the times, if you will, I hate to put it that way, but if you look at where we are
biblically,
I feel like a lot of people are just asleep at the wheel. American Christianity is so weak and watered down. If I can say that, I don't know if I can say that on here.
Yes, you can. And I think that what we're doing is powerful with the message because we're drawing an awareness to people. And, and the Bible talks about this, about these things would happen in the last days where people would kind of get callous to things and they would just
sleepwalking now.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Or reprobate even like it just cold. And so we have a lot of seeker sensitive churches that are afraid of people's feelings. And so they want to so you just water down, the truth in the word, and that doesn't help anybody. It might make everyone feel good, but at the end of the day, it's in a split second, you could be out of time. Right. And so without knowing that, without knowing that it is well with my soul, like that's a scary thought.
Yeah, I think I'm with you 100%. Yeah. And, I always try to restrain from getting into a whole lot of scripture on the interviews, but I will say Hosea 4:6 says that my people perish for the lack of knowledge. Yeah. And you're talking about knowing. And I would agree with you, the watered down churches is a huge thing today. And I always say how you catch them is how you keep them. And people are afraid to get into the word and be, truth. And I think we need that today. I really do. I think we need truth.
And I think we're also poised right on the event horizon of people realizing that they don't have truth. There is something missing, and they are looking for the answers, and someone has to present that answer. And so I think this is going to be a good medium, because I like to term it edutainment, right? Like we are entertaining you, but there's an educational portion of this, and the educational portion is we are on a clock. And if you are just looking at where we are in the world, like even outside of scripture and prophecy and all of those things, you could get in the car and get hit by a truck on your way home from work one day. Are you ready? And so there's so many people, even in my own life, that if they were to pass tonight, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have an assurance. And so that's a scary thought.
Man, I'm so glad you're hitting all the notes, because that's so true.
Yeah. And I think the older I get, the more I think about it too. And nothing makes me feel my mortality more than having a child. And so it's like, I'm watching literal time just speed up every day. Like, I don't know how are we already this far into this? And so, I turned 41 this month.
You said it. You revealed it.
I know. It's fine. You know what?
I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out if you want.
It's public record. It's fine. Hopefully I'll look 31. No, I turned 41 this month, and it's like there's this realization. Number one, it's a hard realization. I am at the halfway point, but also it's a little bit humbling too, because I get the privilege of getting older. A lot of people my age didn't get the privilege. A lot of people will not wake up tomorrow and won't get the privilege of getting another day older. So what am I going to do while I'm here, while I get the privilege of waking up every day? What legacy am I going to leave? What do I want my son to have access to when or if I'm gone, if the Lord tarries, So it's, for me, especially, there was just something really magical about me turning 40. It just kind of made a lot of things. It was my season change, I guess. It's the best way to put it.
You got that perspective, didn't you? Yeah.
And so when my perspective shifted, the season also shifted, and these doors started opening, which is why I know, and I knew even just hearing about the After series, I don't even think I had met you yet. I was like, I'm going to be in that. I just knew there was something for me there. I didn't know what it was. Didn't matter. Did not matter.
The Lord was good.
Yeah. So I was like, that's for me. And I've been pretty good about knowing that, like, I have some discernment there. Like, I know what's for me and what, is not. And so far in the past year, I've been pretty, my discernment, the Lord has been good to me. It's not me. I'm not wonderful. But
I will tell the audience that, without giving away any detail, that I did put you through the ringer.
You did.
I put her through the ringer. I didn't make it easy on her, but what? She earned it.
Yeah. Thank you. But I wanted to, I would have done anything. Like, I would have auditioned 100 times if that's what it took.
It's such a great attitude.
Well, there's so much competition out here. Mm-hmm. There's 100 people in your inbox, probably 30 seconds after me, that look just like me, that do just as good of a job. Of course I would have done anything, because that's just, it goes with the territory, right? I think if you get an opportunity to audition again, or, whatever that looks like, whatever the process is, then of course I would jump at that chance, because it means I'm still in the running. And I have another opportunity to fight for a spot. But, and I say that, but I also knew that I was going to be on it regardless. I'd be like, I didn't know.
I know that's going to be our ongoing joke. I knew I was going to be in this thing.
I knew I was going to be there. It didn't matter what you said. I already knew. So.
All right.
I
can't argue with it. You're here. So.
Audition again. I'd be like, all right. And I'll do it as many times as it takes for God to tell you, just to give it to me, because
You definitely left an impression on me.
Thank you.
And it's, we're not in Hollywood. Okay. I know that is a whole different level. You mentioned some nepotism and stuff earlier, but what we do with independent filmmaking, you don't just go on the looks and the acting side, although you want that. You have to have that for your characters. But your personality and the way you are and the way you carry yourself, I needed certain people a part of this project because, man, you get a bad seed and it's going to hurt you, and you brought that. Like, you are a special individual. I saw it, and I mean that. And I've said this to a few of the other cast members too, but I mean, you and I have become pretty good friends now. And it's an absolute joy and pleasure to get you and to be a part of this. I mean that. And so
pleasure
you sold yourself on that. It wasn't just putting you through the ringer. It was just a lot that came together and the light just went off. It was like the light. I mean, it was written on the wall. That's what I'm trying to say.
And I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter just like my character. So I was gonna take it as far as I had to take it to be here because it's what I wanted and it's where I felt like I was supposed to be. And the After series is special and it deserves committed people.
Yes, it does.
It does. It deserves, like, the After series deserves that. You've developed a great show. It's more than just a show, but you've developed great characters. It's thoughtfully written, and it deserves people who are going to bring everything they've got. So,
I want to say this about you. You have such great traits that I love about you. Like, I've seen the sweet side. You're very sweet. You're nice. You'll help out. I don't want to reveal.
You just don't know me that well.
Well, hold on now. I'm not done talking about you yet. No, I've seen your side of sweetness. Tony Cottle's a friend of ours, and you've helped him in a few things. We won't talk about that. But what I'm talking about. Like, you're very good at just showing love to people, right? But then I've seen this tough side of you, who's like, you'll turn the tables. You're not scared to back down. Like you said earlier, you could be sassy. I like that, but you're not mean about it. You're just a truth teller and you don't mess around. And that's the kind of the person we need for Ren, right? Because you said you relate to this character. And what a beautiful mesh. You're like the example of like here's a Jesus trait. So Jesus, everybody portrays him to be this meek and humble man. Yes, he is. But yet he's turning tables, when he goes into the temple. Now, was he angry? Well, he was angry. He was under control. It's strength under control. It's angry under control is strength. You have a great strength about you that I see, but it's under control. Like, you don't, at least I haven't seen you lose your head yet. But I'm on board with what you're saying. You can not be nice, but I like these traits.
So that's both my mother and my father too. Like, I was raised by a very strong woman. Okay. I mean, she worked in a factory for 14 hours a day to feed her 4 children, bratty, ungrateful little children, as we were back in the 80s and 90s. And my mom always told me, if you're waiting on somebody else to do it for you, you are backing up. But she one time rebuilt the transmission in our car from the owner's manual. And it worked. She's just that woman.
Whoa.
Like, we didn't have money for plumbers and electricians. Like, she did it. She would just do it because there was no one else there to do it. And the money wasn't there to have someone else do it. So I was raised in that environment. But also, my dad is very direct. And it's very easy to get your feelings hurt if you don't know how to take him. I'm also like, I have his curse. Like, I'm a direct person. And a lot of people sometimes take me the wrong way. I mean it 100%. I mean it benign as it can be. There's just not a lot of room for gray for me.
I love that. I need that.
It's black or it's white. Very few things are gray. Truth is truth. And sometimes they're hard. And sometimes I'm the hardest on myself. And I will say that, like, my family, they say, like, I have a heart like as cold as ice. Really, I'm the hardest on myself. Like, I'm like, you guys are not getting special treatment. I do this to myself as well. So, like, welcome to the family, I guess,
Well, you fit right in with me. I'm a no nonsense person, and I love that you are honest.
Yeah,
I do. you were talking about schooling. You went to college. Now, I don't know if you want to share, but you were also a police officer?
I was an officer for the state of Georgia. Yes, I was not yeah, I'm good. I was not a patrol. I worked for felony probation and parole on a task force and assisted with a secondary task force and worked in what they call the day reporting center, which is field work essentially. And I did that for a few years. I put myself through college when I was working full time. I was working full time in an office, a company called Beaulieu that is no longer in existence. It went bankrupt, but I did that. I graduated when I was 30. The first person to ever graduate, much less college, but high school as well in my family, even my immediate family.
I was the same graduate.
Yeah. Yeah, see, and that's something, right? And so I went directly into law enforcement and I loved it. I did love it. There's an ugly side to law enforcement as well, where it's very political. And so unfortunately in the department that I was working in the particular office in the county, that particular county, it was political, and I watched those policies and those mentalities and those attitudes and egos and all of the things that go along with that destroy some pretty decent people's lives. People that maybe had some scars, people that didn't necessarily have the best chance growing up, didn't have a great education, didn't have great role models, and just had issues that very easily just could have been mentored and worked with. But it wasn't about actually helping the people, which is what the mandate was supposed to be about. It was about how many people can we keep in the system because it pays our bills. And I didn't want to be part of that.
I understand. I even back in Oregon, we had in our church, we were hearing about police officers that were having to leave their job, and it's just one of those things, that it gets tough. And I agree with you; it is very political.
I think there are good officers. I'm not somebody that disrespects police officers, but the administrative parts of it, I don't have a lot of respect for that. You have pockets of it, obviously. It's not, I won't say that it's widespread, but it's more common than I would like. And protect and serve is what it's supposed to be. Unfortunately, that gets lost sometimes with a lot of it's hard to keep the egos out. You have a lot of power. You have a lot of power as an officer to destroy someone's life or to help someone. And so I think, I would like to see.
So you didn't do it that long then?
I did it for a few years, yeah.
3 years, okay. And then it was just like, okay, I'm done.
There was a particular situation that happened one day that I cannot go into.
No, you don't have to share that.
Yeah, and I've never been more ashamed to be a part of an organization than I was that day. And I felt like I wanted to crawl in a hole and never come out. I felt so small and disgusting, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, here you are. Lord had different plans for you.
Where I'm supposed to be, right?
Now, we put a pin in the beginning of you talking about your dream role. And that's one of the questions I normally ask everybody. If you had a dream role, what would it be? Or if there was something that you never had a chance to do. And here you are, you said this might be the role that Ren, playing very tough. You like those peppermint movie like roles.
Yes. It's not even that peppermint. Yeah.
Hey, I love peppermint. I just use it as an example.
It's a great movie. It's not even that peppermint is like the best story. No, but the way that she portrays that character, I just love it. I just love that type of role. Like she takes no prisoners, literally.
I'm a John Wick guy.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I just, what I think, okay, I'm going to do a deep dive here. I think what it is I consider myself to be a general in God's army. And like this personification that I have in my head of what it means to be a soldier for the Lord, it's tied very much to the way we view soldiers in the natural world, right? So when I see these roles like that, it speaks to me because I am a soldier and I am on the front line. That's just something I've always felt about myself in God's army, whatever that looks like. And so I am called to those more than some fluff type of happy, like I could not do comedy. It would not be funny. I'm not funny. So like I'm just called to these roles because this is who I am in the fullest sense, in the way that God has created me to be. I think that's why. If I could just,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Let's go. Amen, sister.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Okay, so you get a chance to play Ren in this tough character, and it's a dream role, man. And I'm blessed to have you, and we get to do this together. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm praying we can take your character the distance. So this is going to be amazing.
You're not getting rid of me. I'm showing
Let's
up.
Talk to the producer and the writer about that. So we keep you on.
I need you to see what you can do about that, because I'm coming to set. You can write me in somehow.
That's what I love about you, is your drive too. You have a drive, and that was one thing that was attractive to me. You got a hunger and a drive and a passion, and you're not doing this for necessarily a paycheck. But we're trying to build something, so you're willing to start small and work your way up, and here you are landing a lead role, and you just got a really good drive about you. Like you'll do anything. And, and I've heard about you holding boom poles and stuff on other sets and stuff. Like you'll just do it.
It had to be held. What was I going to do? It had to be done. Yeah. So
no, I love that.
You get in where you fit in especially in these smaller projects, right? Like
you're a team player.
Yeah. Yeah, it always makes me feel weird when someone's like, it treats me like like the last set I was on, it's like the lead. Like it just makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable because I'm just a girl. I decided one day that I have a wonderful job, but I'm not fulfilled. And so coming to this office every day is not it for me. And like, I'm just a girl like the rest of you guys. Like, I put my pants on the same way everybody does in the morning. So you do what needs to be done. It's for the art. And I will say, I'm willing to take risks on the right projects. I just happen to feel that this is the right project.
Thank you. Blessed to have you.
No, I am honestly, if everyone knew, I am blessed to be here.
Yeah.
If everyone knew
how
much I had to do.
I can't wait I was telling Jason this too. I was like, I can't wait till I get to announce greenlit, we're ready to go. And then I can, maybe you and I can hook up and run some lines and get Jason, get a few of the other people. And I'm excited for that. That process is exciting to me, man. I love to get ready. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm pumped.
It'd be great.
Well, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that I ask everybody, and you may have already studied for them. Just kidding. But what is one of your favorite movies that you can watch over and over again when it comes on? If you have one or maybe two.
Oh, I've got one I could probably quote every word, and it is The Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, I'm terrible. I have still not seen that movie.
We cannot be friends. Don't call me back till you watch that movie.
I know. I need to be your friend. Honey, we got a movie to watch tonight.
What?
I know. And I love the actors in it too. I just every time I sit down, I'm not kidding you, this has happened 2 or 3 times, getting ready to turn it on, I get interrupted, and I just never went back to it. And that's one of the movies that slipped through.
There's a couple. Like another one is Antoine Fuqua's version of King Arthur.
Which
Clive
one?
Owen, the one with Clive Owen, Keira Knightley.
My favorite. Great film.
He can just tell a story. Like, obviously, he's got the budget and the set for it, but like that movie, I've watched it probably 100 times.
I got it on my shelf. It's a great movie. No, I'm with you. Great cast.
I know. Well, yes, and that was, I think, Keira Knightley at her best.
I would agree. It was a great role for her.
And Johan Griffith, I think that was even, he was just, it was so good. It was just so good. And and he's done a couple other ones, and they don't come to mind, but everything he does is just golden to me.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen?
Is that who you're talking about?
Him and Antoine Fuqua. Yeah.
Oh, Antoine.
Yeah. And I love Clive Owen.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's been around. I've not watched everything he's done. He's been around for a while, but anything that I know if he's in it, it's not gonna be a waste of my time. It's gonna be at the least very entertaining, right? So yeah. So those are two. But I had the last of the Mohicans on VHS, and I lived with my dad when I was like 17, and we didn't have cable, so like I would rewind it and watch it again, rewind it, watch it again, and I loved it. It was.
Dang it! You gave me something to do. I think I'm going to watch it really soon now.
You think?
Yeah.
You better watch it before you go on.
And those who are listening that know me, I'm watching things all the time. That's what's so crazy about this. I have not seen this one.
Well, it's also older too, right? It just came out forever.
Doesn't matter. I'll still watch another movie. I
even went to Chimney Rock Park where they filmed it. Okay, I did the whole thing. Yes, I did all of it. And like. And I can't say enough about it, and I'll have to shut up or I'll just keep going. But it's great. There's so many. It's so many like that though.
Okay, well, let me ask you: who is, if you got to shoot a scene with a Hollywood actor, actress in the After series, and it could be only one person, they have to be alive, who would it be?
Robert Redford.
Really?
That's
a good pick. I just shocked me.
Tommy Lee Jones or him.
I like Tommy Lee Jones, Texas boy. But Robert Redford, big Robert.
Have you watched Spy Game? Have you watched
Spy Game? Yep, I've seen The Natural.
Spy Game.
Got a few good ones. You like that one?
Yes, I cannot say enough about it. It's amazing. I just love him. I don't know. I just enjoy the arts. Yeah.
I love that. You threw me for a loop. I would have never guessed that.
Who do I look like I would have wanted? Tom Cruise or
no? I didn't expect it out of you. You just brought up Clive Owen and the King Arthur, and you brought up Daniel Day-Lewis and the
I'm an old
Last
soul.
of the Mohicans, but yeah, I can see that.
I'm an old soul, yeah.
All right. Well, I don't want to leave anything unsaid. So, is there anything you'd like to add or say that maybe I didn't ask you, or anything you'd like to share or talk about?
No, I'm happy to be here. I know you keep saying you're so blessed that I'm on the project. I feel like it's the other way around. So I'm grateful that I was given the opportunities, plural, to land this, because that's what it took. And so grateful for that. I'm really I want to get on the set with everyone. I want to see it spring off the page, and we're getting so close, and patience was a gift that never had my name on it. So
me either.
Is torture for me to wait, but I will. I'm so happy to be here. Really. You've written a great series. So, awesome. And it's going to continue to get better. And I believe that. So
awesome. Pumped. All right, that's it. That's all the questions that I have for the famous Terri Bonds. Terri, thanks for doing the interview finally.
Well, thanks for being patient, because I know we've been trying to do this for a long time.
I know, and like you said, patience is not my virtue. So,
and I'll never ask for it. Life works a measure of patience in all of us, and that is enough for me.
That is one of the reasons why when I wrote Eli Jenkins, he had to be a character that didn't have patience, because I don't. Anyways. All right. Well, that is it. Thank you all for joining Actors on After. I appreciate you guys. Until we see you in the next video, thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you.